Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. Welcome to Not Perfect Zen and days 23 and 24 of Inktober 2022. I'll be using a Micron 01 a graphite pencil, a blending stump, and sometimes an eraser. And I'm using 2x2 inch tiles that I cut and colored. And there is a link in the description for how I did that. And let's look at today's patterns in my journal. And for those who have been following me a while, surprise, there's actually one in color. Well, okay, but let me zoom in. So day 23 is Alitos by Claudia Pbn V. And this was a very interesting pattern. You can do it as a fragment, just one thing by itself like this corner. You could do a ribbon, you can do a grid, and I enjoyed doing this one. I liked how that one turned out. And it's a fairly easy pattern to do. In the step outs, she shows just making kind of a squarish oval, kind of like that. And then off the side of that, she does just some little zigzag spikes. You can have a flat top or not. And the size and height don't really matter. And then you just fill those in one side. Okay. And like I said, I enjoyed putting it in the grid, but it takes a while because of filling in this space. If you had a larger tip on your pen, then that would be helpful. Okay. And then once you have that filled in, you're going to put your next little oval right next to that, and you're going to touch the tops of the tall ones, kind of like that. And then you just continue with your little spikes. Okay, so pretty simple. And like I said, for this grid, I just kind of turned the way that the spikes were going each time. But other than that, I'm not sure what to do with that pattern. So I'm just going to do a ribbon across this one. So that wasn't very good. Okay. And then back this way. And then I'm going to put just a second line out here. Not going very straight, is it? That's okay. We are not expecting perfect work on this channel. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is put some of those ovals in here. I suppose you could just do squares. You could try it different ways. and just space it about the same size as your ovals. All right. Now I'm going to start putting my little spikes. You can make them as fat or thin, narrow or wide. Doesn't really matter. Till you get to the other edge. And then fill that in. And this is where I was saying if you had like an 05 or an 08, they even make 10s, I believe. That helps you fill in a little bit faster. Get rid of this one. And I'm not worried about getting anything even. Not worried about trying to match the one below it. And as far as filling this in, these are all going to be about the same. So this would be time when you could speed this up if you wanted to. I don't change the speed on my videos. I just know that YouTube allows you to change that speed if you want. So I'll leave that up to you. I get stressed when I watch videos that are going fast. So that's why I don't do it on mine. Okay. It's just spikes. And I'm very interested to see some of the different ways that some of the more creative people that I follow might do this. Just to have these go off the edge. Fill these in. This part, I don't know, kind of reminds me of a spooky forest at night. I think it's getting close to Halloween. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. If you wanted to, you could add a few spikes down here, as if you have one of these on this side. Okay. And the way I'm going to fill these in, as far as the shading, is like this. And I had a question on a tile that I shared, and she was asking how I make these look like pearls. And I'm going to show you here that I just take the graphite pencil, and with it on its side, I just draw a C shape like this with a slight kind of a medium pushing down, not pushing down real hard. I want to keep it soft, but I do want to put some graphite down. So on each one of these, I'm doing like the letter C. Okay. And this is how I do all of my little pearls, so to speak. And then I take my blending stump and then just soften it and kind of pull it around in that shape, that whether it's oval or round, you're going to have the same effect. Okay, I'm not taking it all the way to this edge. I'm just pulling it more towards the center. Okay. All right. So that is Alitos. And then our next one is an old favorite, Hollibaugh by Zentangle. And I wanted to show here that with Zentangle, you don't have to do just perfectly straight lines. Okay. And I think this one, I saw some ideas from Margaret Bremner. So you can split your little roadways, ribbons, whatever you want to call them. You can put patterns inside of them. You can shade them in a lot of different ways. This I have just very simple shading, but there is a pattern out there called Holy Hollibaugh, which has wide ribbons and holes in them where you see the other ribbons going underneath. So that's why I wanted to show that. And the name Hollibaugh comes from Molly Hollibaugh's husband. He's the one that deconstructed and shared that pattern. Okay. I want to show you one. I thought about doing this one for today, but you end up having to do a lot of erasing. And so I'm not going to show you this one. I actually did this video, recorded it yesterday, but missed one setting on my cameras and I didn't get it. And so this is the one that I did yesterday. I'm going to do that again now to show you how I did it. I'm going to put a border in pencil, kind of close to the edge. There are lots of ideas for ways to do Hollibaugh. So for this one, I'm going to make these look like they're connected along the edge. And I think the first person I saw that did this was Jane Monk. So when you start, you're going to have just a little bit of a curve, and your little ribbons don't have to be straight. And then I'm going to come down, and when I get to the border, I'm going to curve it just a little bit again. And then same thing here. I'm going to come down. When I get to my border, I'm going to give it just a little bit of a curve. Okay, now I'm going to put another one to start anywhere. We could just make kind of an X. So again, I'm coming across. And with Hollibaugh, when you get to the lines that you want to go under, you're going to lift your pen, act as if that line is still going straight, and then put your pen back down. And now we're going to make our curve. All right, same thing on this side. Come down, stop, lift your pen, act as if you were still drawing, put your pen back down. And then when we get to the border, we're going to make that little bit of a curve. So you're going to hear, if you're new to Zentangle, you're going to hear Hollibaugh anytime someone who has done Zentangle for a while is going under another part of a pattern. They may say Hollibaugh it. So what they mean is go under that part of the pattern. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's do another one. Excuse me. That one's going to go ahead and touch there. I'm going to do another one here. And then we'll put another pattern, another ribbon, rather. Let's go under this one and curve it. And then for the other side, I'm going to come around and curve that way, which makes it meet up with that one. And we'll do one more here. And this one's going to go under that one. And that one goes under there. All right, so now we're going to connect these little curves. I just think this is a fun variation. Okay, like I said, this one should meet right there. And you could put patterns inside each one of these. Since I want these to be monotangles, that's why I decided on this one to put just cross hatching. So for that, I'm simply going to put, and I'm going to try to not make this take a long time, just very lightly putting my pen down, and I'm not worried about perfectly straight lines. And then I'm going to come across those lines very lightly. Again, this is called cross hatching. And that's going to help us to see our little ribbons or roadways, whatever you want to call it. I enjoy using hatching and cross hatching. And I'm not necessarily trying to make squares, more of a diamond shape, maybe. Oops. Okay. And just keep going to a different area. And like I said, this, you can easily fill it in with printemps, with orbs like tipple. You can do anything. Okay. Or you could just put shading in there. I'm trying to do this kind of fast, but not too sloppy. So I am in the southeast Texas area. I'm halfway between Houston and Galveston. And we have had some gorgeous weather lately. I just wish we could get some rain. I hope you're enjoying Inktober. I've seen a lot of different YouTube channels that are showing Inktober. My videos are fairly simple, great for beginners, or for anyone who just wants an easy tile to do. I'm looking forward to trying some of these patterns after Inktober is finished. I have learned some really pretty new patterns because of this. And I have some of the new vellum tiles that I haven't really had much time to play with. But I want to try to do maybe some Christmas decorations with them, since you can hang them in a window and see some pretty patterns that way. All right, almost done. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't too painful. Now for shading, where one of these goes over another, we're going to put a little bit of graphite to show that maybe this is casting a shadow on the road or ribbon below it. So you have a little bit of a shadow here. All right. Go ahead and soften those. Okay. And then the other thing that you could do with these open areas is add some shading inside. Tell you, these tiles spin very easily when I'm trying to turn them. So I'm just putting graphite along the edge where I've done the cross hatching. Almost done. And then we're simply going to soften that. All right, there you go. So we have Hollibaugh and Alitos. And this is the one I did yesterday, which looks almost exactly the same. And the Hollibaugh that I did yesterday. So let's put these on. Oops, sorry. Okay. Here's our hashtags. And I really appreciate those of you that are using the hashtags because it makes it easy for me to find the work that you've done and look at it. And I just love it when you share what you've done. I really appreciate your comments and the support that I've received through the coffee.com link. And you can support me also by subscribing to my channel and just hitting the like button if you like it. And that really helps me out. So thanks again. I hope you're having fun. I will see you again in 2 days. Can you believe it? We are finished with 24 days. Thanks again. I'll see you later. Bye.